Hello everyone and welcome to 11 Charlie Scale Modeling. My name is Solomon and today we are going to start the Trumpeter M1127 Stryker Recon variant. This is a really cool build and one I'm extremely excited about. And we're also going to be doing a modification because this kit comes with a M2 Browning 50 caliber machine gun. And we do not want a 50 cal machine gun on ours because I used to ride in one of these in Iraq. And in Iraq, we carried a Mark 19 grenade launcher on this turret. So I have this Productions Legend 3D printed Mark 19 grenade launcher that we're going to actually try to retrofit into the turret on this kit. And that's what we're going to do today. So today we're going to be building this. We're not going to do anything else because we are going to be also building Edwards slat armor, which is photo etched. We're going to do that in another video because that's going to be a significant build. So this is going to be a multi-part video. This is going to be just the build part of the video. I hope you guys will enjoy this. Let's get into it. Alright everybody, today we're going to start the M1127 Stryker Reconnaissance Vehicle, or RV variant. I rode in one of these while I was in Iraq. I was the gunner to a Mark 19, and I also served as a rear hatch, rear security gunner on a M240 Bravo machine gun, and also as a dismount. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. Instructions, and we have all the parts here. And we got rucksacks, that's cool. I'm not sure what those are. Some glass pieces. That would be for the windshield that we will not use. We've got our tires. Got our top hull, our bottom hull. Got some photo etch pieces here. Photo etch pieces and decals. This is the Trumpeter version, which is the same people that made my mortar carrier variant. So should be pretty similar. Oh, this comes with guys too. Did not know it came with a kit with dudes. That's cool. Very cool. Alright, so we're gonna get everything figured out and get started on this. This one should be a much faster build than the mortar carrier because we're not doing a lot of internal stuff. The lower hull build of this Trumpeter Recon variant Stryker was almost identical, if not completely identical, to the mortar carrier variant Stryker build that I did previously, although I did not film for this channel because I built it before I started this channel. But it was identical, all the same parts and everything, which was really comforting. It was made for a pretty quick build for all the bottom parts of this Stryker, and I kind of blew through this part pretty quick, and it's not very difficult to build. These kits are not super challenging as far as just the base build. It's the add-on parts that I decided to put onto this kit later on that made this build a lot more challenging. I chose the photo etch mounts for the water and fuel jugs, but I chose not to go ahead and install those water and fuel jugs because I wanted to paint them, and I'll add them later on in the build. Now it's time to assemble the upper hull. I found this to be a lot easier than it was when I built the mortar carrier variant, simply due to the fact that there's no internal builds that need to be done. This is an all outside build model, so there's no like internal parts like seats and stuff that need to be done. So I didn't have to worry about painting a bunch of things that you're gonna see all on the inside, like little details and stuff. So it made it really a whole lot easier and faster to build this, and I was really grateful for that because that mortar carrier took me forever. I wish I had that video for you guys to see, but that one would be a very long one. But anyway, I just kind of blew through it. There were some challenging parts, especially when it came to the smoke canister firing devices up on the roof. There were some photo etch pieces that needed to be built, but I figured them out and got them done. Just take your time with them, you'll figure them out. So strangely enough, the directions call for you to make these rear hatches closed, even though this kit does come with crew members for both the front and the rear hatches. But I went ahead and glued these in the open position, in a position where I knew they would be once I put the slat armor. So they wouldn't be open completely flat, they would be open at an angle. This was just based off of experience from when I would be back in the hatches. I kind of knew they would be in that direction. And I knew also, because they were put in with thin cement, I would be able to adjust them if I needed to. But that's the position that I'd like to put them in, and it ended up working out in a good position. It worked out for the best. The assembly of the two hulls together was very, very easy, and I didn't run into any trouble at all putting them together. Whereas I did have a lot of trouble with my mortar carrier variant, only because there was so much internal parts to play a role in as far as putting pressure on the outer part of the hull. So this, like I said, was extremely simple. You just got to make sure that all the parts are put together. You can do the front part first and make sure those parts are put together first and gluing in, and then you can put the back part together, and then you can actually make the back part with the ramp last, and just kind of hold them together until they connect. But it was pretty simple. I was pretty pleased with how it came together. So as you can see here, I'm trying to attach the LRAS to the turret, and I'm having trouble because it won't fit in the hole correctly. So I opted to go ahead and glue it in position, and I was okay with that. Now I'm going through the Legend Mark 19 kit and picking out the pieces to build the actual Mark 19 itself. And I'm also going through the pieces that come with it, because it comes with a tripod and some like thermal sights and other things that I'm just not going to need. So I'm only going to pick and choose the parts that I know I'm going to need, and getting them kind of situated, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting that together. Now it's time to go ahead and get the Mark 19 attached to the turret itself, and the bullet guard on the control arm. And what I was finding is this kit comes with a Ma Deuce or a 50 cal machine gun, and the control arms that it comes with two, and it allows you to kind of choose the elevation of the gun above the bullet guard, and it was making the Mark 19 sit way too high above the bullet shield. So I was trying to kind of come up with a plan on how I was going to make it sit in the right position, and so I ended up coming up with this idea of using a piece of a sprue and cutting it to size and cutting an angle to it, and that ended up working. And it's not 100% accurate to what it looked like, but to be perfectly honest, unless you are like using a magnifying glass, you're not even going to notice it, and it really turned out really well. So it's just a slight modification that I had to do in order to make it work, but it worked out fine, and I'm really grateful.
is a quick little modification
to make the Mark 19 fit on that. Works pretty good. So I actually looked ahead at the Edwards Photo Etch slat armor kit that I had purchased, and it actually did not call for me to put these equipment racks on. But the way my Stryker was set up in Iraq, we had our equipment racks on our Strykers with the slat armor on. And funny enough, before we deployed to Iraq, I ended up getting chosen for a detail, or a job is what it was called, voluntold for a job, to go actually help the civilians install the slat armor on all the Strykers in the brigade. So I kind of know how the slat armor goes on, so I decided I was going to try to put the slat armor on without doing the extra armor or additional armor kit that they recommended, and I was also going to put it on with these equipment racks. So that's why I'm actually installing them. Alright folks, so that's it for the build part of the video and the modification with the Productions Legend Mark 19 grenade launcher. As you can tell, I didn't use all the parts, but I did use the gist of what I wanted out of this kit. This kit was really cool and very, very awesome, and I highly recommend you guys get this if you do need to do this. You guys can do this modification as well if you'd like to. It wasn't super hard, and it really turned out well. I'm really pleased with the way that the turret ends up looking in this build. Now, for the next video, we're going to be starting the Edwards Photo Etch slat armor. If you guys know about photo etch anything, it is a pain to work with. And I'm about to start on something extremely difficult to work on. And I have been reading a lot of reviews and a lot of people talking about this, and a lot of people won't even touch it because there's so many tiny pieces and it's just so difficult. But guess what? I'm not a quitter, and this is for a display piece on my memory wall. We're going to get this done. So stay tuned in the next video because we're going to be building Edwards photo etch slat armor and installing it on this build of the Recon variant Stryker. So I hope you guys will check it out. Make sure you have subscribed to this channel. Hit that bell notification icon so you know when my next video is uploaded. I upload every 2 weeks on Thursdays. Right now, I may change that in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys back at the modeling table. Take care. If you would like to check out my other YouTube channel, Third Beard Fishing, I'll put a link in the description of this video. This is my other YouTube channel where I do a lot of fishing here in Central Florida, mostly saltwater, but sometimes freshwater too. I'd really appreciate your subscription. Thank you. Hello everyone. If you could, I'd love for you guys to check out my father-in-law's YouTube channel. It's a YouTube channel that I also edit videos for called Bearded Lumber. They are a full-service sawmill and kiln channel, and they are an amazing channel. I hope you guys will check them out. The link is in the description of this video, so check them out. You'll really enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you for watching 11 Charlie Scale Modeling. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion, and subscribe here for more great content. Thank you.